We never know where our path will lead us. But if we walk it, determined, if we do the things we are meant to do, incredible things can happen. My path led me to the privilege of making this video. Its story made me, a pretty sturdy and tough gold prospector, almost cry. I would of course never admit the fact that sometimes during editing I really had tears in my eyes. This is no fairy tale. Many decades ago, an 8-year-old boy named Tim was gold prospecting with his dad in a very remote area of California. They had not much, they lived a hard life, but they lived it and they walked their path, determined. When Tim's dad was dredging, small Tim had to sit on his back because they couldn't afford a weight belt. They were true treasure hunters. When Tim was older, he inherited a box full of treasure search magazines from his dad. These magazines meant a lot to his dad. And then, many years later, the very same Tim was on the cover page of the very same magazine, holding a gigantic gold nugget in his hand. Around 40 years later again, it so happened that I saw this magazine. But what caught my eye was not the nugget, it was the finder. I immediately knew this was a very special person. I felt this story wasn't about the man finding a great nugget. It was about the nugget finding a great man. The chair where old Tim used to sit on the porch is now empty. But his personality and his laugh is still around. Oh yes, man, it is. Did you notice that there is also a smaller hand at the nugget? And now, guess what? Okay, hello, I'm very pleased to meet you guys. I'm really honored. Believe me, I'm also pretty excited and nervous now. I really thank you and I really appreciate that you allow this to happen, that we can talk today. It's in fact the very first time we talk and we see us. Before we just wrote. And therefore, let me very briefly introduce myself. I'm not important today, but so I make it short. I'm a Swiss hobby gold prospector. I was born and raised in Switzerland, and I prospect for gold in the Swiss Alps and in Alaska.
He's cool, man.
1 or 2 years ago, I started with videography. I love it to make videos about gold prospecting and also about nature and good experiences outdoors. And one of my video series is about special gold nuggets. And I always say what makes a gold nugget special. It's not just a lump of metal. It's of course the size and the value, but what makes it really special is the finder story. And so even a very small nugget can be very special if the finder story is something special. But yeah, in this episode today, in this 4th episode, there is no doubt that the size of the nugget isn't the problem. It's really a huge nugget we are talking about today. It's a great nugget and also a great person who found it, a great personality. I'm talking about Tim DeRaps. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. He found an incredible nugget of 53 ounces in the Sierra County in California in 1983. And Mr. DeRaps passed away, so he can't be with us today. But I think the best way to start in this video is if you just could please introduce yourselves, who you are, where you are from, and of course what your personal relation to Tim DeRaps is.
Sure. Laura DeRaps. I'm Mr. Tim's wife. And I was born and raised in California.
Okay. I never was in California. I've always wanted to go there, just hear some, that it's sunny and beautiful. And yeah, I read a lot of books about California and about gold prospecting in California. So one day I hope I can go there.
Well, if you do, you sure and come look us up.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. I would love. I hope we can travel again soon. Okay.
And I'm Ambrosha Nugget, and I'm Tim's daughter. And I live in California and grew up in the Sierra County foothills, or in the mountains. And I work for the Forest Service, and so I'm always out in the nature also. And so I'm still looking to stumble across something like my dad did.
That's cool. So it seems we all are connected to being outdoors and to like nature. It's like in our blood.
It's definitely in our blood.
Okay.
And
cool.
Yeah, and as much as I try and get away from the hills, I just tend to go further up.
Cool. So thank you very much. And your dad, Mr. Tim DeRaps, I don't know a lot about him. I just when I saw this article, it jumped in my face. This is a special person, and if I understand, he also had a special life. He was in Vietnam, right?
Yes,
is correct. So how would you describe Tim DeRaps? What kind of a person was he, and how was his life?
Larger than life.
Larger than life.
And it's funny because, yeah, sorry to cry.
No problem.
But it's funny because it's like he just, every time something happens, it's like, because you messaged us and then he was in our local paper, within the same week. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, here you are again. So even from the other side, he's just larger than life. He came from, my grandfather was a treasure hunter also. And so he grew up like looking for gold with his dad and in Sierra County also. And he had told stories of them finding things together, but my grandpa, tell me if I'm wrong about this story. My grandpa was a dowser.
Okay.
Do you know what dowsing is?
No, I just was thinking about the word. Thank you for asking.
So dowsing rods, like people used to use dowsing rods to find water.
Ah, okay. Now got it. Yeah, got it.
Like a witching stick.
Yeah.
And so my grandpa was a dowser, and somehow he figured out how to dowse maps for gold.
Okay.
After he found the nugget, it turned out that his dad, Bertram, had dowsed it 30 years before.
Okay.
And so there is a big piece of gold there. And we found the map after Tim found the nugget. Very exciting.
Yeah, so it was in my dad's blood to find gold.
Yeah.
And but we lived on a claim in a teepee. All my memories like started at this creek, and everything, and just him being in the water all the time. As you know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You have to love it to really do it over long periods of time, because it's really exhausting. So was he a professional gold prospector, or was it more like a hobby or like a passion? Or
it was a passion.
Okay.
He loved to hunt for gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It was really to find gold to help the family survive.
Okay.
And we were in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Yeah.
And we came up here. He said, I will go up there if I can buy a dredge.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a dredge, and we came up here and started looking for gold. Because just a few miles up the road is where him and his dad had been gold hunting.
Okay.
So I think he always hoped he'd find a big rock, but he never really thought it would be that big.
Okay.
And, I'm sorry, but the article got the figures wrong. The nugget was 5 pounds, 6 ounces.
5 pounds, 6 ounces. I have to write this down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's like they corrected me several times.
Okay.
That it was correct to call it by ounces, but I liked saying pounds.
Pounds.
Yes.
For us Europeans, it's difficult. We think in kilograms. I have to calculate it afterwards. But I know anyway, a pound is very lot, and 5 pounds is incredible for a gold nugget. I don't know if you have seen the video with Steve Hirschbach. He was talking about this 1 pound nuggets, that they are huge, and this is a 5 pound nugget, so it's top of the top league. It's really, really big.
Oh, it was fun. It was very fun.
We here in Switzerland, we really do it for a hobby. We have for sure not these huge nuggets and so, but you said it was also his intention to find gold really for the family, to sell the gold. So this was really like winning in the lottery or something like that, right?
Yes, it was. We bought the kids brand new coats. They never had brand new coats before. And it was just, It was fun. I gotta tell you one story, the first story of when he found it. He walked through the door with his hat, and the bulge in the bottom of his hat. My wish to him every morning when he left was, I hope it don't fit in the jar. And he came in with his hat and he says, Mama, it doesn't fit in the jar. And it was just this huge rock. Yeah. So that was, he had a great sense of humor.
Okay. I think that's a very important thing in life.
It definitely is. And just to give you a little background of like doing it to support the family.
Yeah.
The little town that we lived in is an hour and 20 minutes from the nearest town.
Okay.
So there's no jobs or anything up there, except for it was an old mining community. So basically everybody that lived in that town had a gold mine or a claim, and that's how people supported their families.
These stories which I normally read in books or see in movies, and here it's real life. That's very fascinating for me. Yeah.